Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Classic Who Zone. We've got Doctor Who, the movie, this week. As we couldn't actually come up with a Sylvester McCoy story, we decided that we'd do the Doctor Who movie and get it done and over with because we did say we would do the movie at one stage, so we might as well get it done. I'm just getting it set up now myself. So it's the Doctor Who movie we're watching. Now, not a huge fan of this, have to be honest. But it's been years since I've watched it. So, well, hopefully we can watch it because what's going on here? That doesn't normally happen. Why are you playing up on me? Let's see if I can try another service. Bear with me for 1 second. Oh, there we go. We could get somewhere with this one. Yeah. Oh, for feck's sake. All I want is to press the play bleeding button, man. Come on. Right, while I'm trying to figure this out, we'll bring our guests on. It should normally just feckin' come on. That's the thing. Alright, let's try the other one. Wow. The site that I usually use all of a sudden is not working for me. Hold on, have we got some loading business going on here? You're taking your feckin' time. Well, it's loading. The other one wasn't loading. Hold on, we'll change it back. It might load now. There we go. Yep. Okay. There we go. We got it. Scarrow. Right. I think I've got everything set up there. Right. Let's get the emails out and bring on our guests before we get before we go any further. We're going to start this as soon as the guests come on. No big long intros. Just straight into it because I know I'm a bit late. So we're just going to get straight into it as soon as the guests come on. So I'd urge you all to get you our copy of the movie if you have it ready, because as soon as the guests come on, we are starting straight away. There's not going to be a little chat at the start because this is the movie. We're doing what we do for the movie zones. We don't have a big, long chat. We get straight into it because we are watching a movie. So right, I've sent the emails out to the people that I think are coming on today. So, yep. Right. I've sent the emails out to everybody that's supposed to be coming on. So we'll see. We'll see what the story is. Everybody should be getting their emails now. If you haven't got your email, just give it a couple of seconds. You know what this is? This is like sometimes it can be temperamental. So just give it a second. If you haven't received your email yet, don't panic. Right. Let's bring our guests on before I get sick or something, because I don't feel right. I don't know. I'll be sleep patterns all over the place as well, man. Right, Real Super Doctor has his ready, but let's bring on our guests. So we have some royalty joining us today. It's the one and only Queen Charlotte.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. Just I didn't know we were doing the movie, so I've not pre-watched this. So
that'll be fun. That'll be fun. Yeah, I think we said at the start of the stream where you turned up, but I forgot to mention it again. So my bad. I should have told you.
No, it's all right. Just I'm gonna watch it muted, so I'm probably best not to give a score at the end. So I'll talk from what I can see. Just I'll have to do it that way.
If you want to keep your volume off and just watch as much as you can.
Yeah, I might do that then, and just put my mic on and off a bit.
Yeah. Right, then let's bring on our next guest. It's the one and only Real Super Doctor. And Alpha, I've sent you an email as well. If you're coming on, let me know if you're coming on. Come in. Hey, John.
Hey there. It's an interesting movie. It's the fact that it was the only new Doctor Who in 1996. I mean, after Doctor Who had been cancelled in 1989, and we got a kind of silly parody of Children in Need, bringing back the Doctors for Dimensions in Time.
Yeah.
I mean, I was super excited for this because way back in '96, there had been no Doctor Who, and there was always mentions in Doctor Who in the CFAX that it was coming back. And one day it was on I think it was a CITV children's program, and it mentioned that Paul McGann would be the next Doctor Who, and I didn't know who Paul McGann was until I found out in Doctor Who magazine. There was him at Longleat, a photograph of him at Longleat, and he was holding a crystal in his hands, and he had the number 2 haircut, and he had a scarf and a big long coat, and I thought that was the costume and I thought, I was quite unsure about it, but when I saw the later on in Doctor Who magazine that Sylvester McCoy was coming back to reprise his role, and that he was getting a smarter outlook with a new costume as well, and I said, that sounds really good. I mean, I was all hyped for it. You know, it was like when I first saw the actual photographs of the TARDIS console room, and I thought, my God, they're really putting the money into this, and the photographs as well, because there was on set photographs Paul McGann in the morgue bit, and you could see them filming the regeneration and all that. And I thought, this is going to be good. This is Doctor Who coming back, and then when the movie was released, before it was released on television in 1996, I remember going into I think it was John Menzies and picking up a copy of the new released video, because it had been released onto video. Yeah. And I remember watching it for the first time. I was completely taken aback by it. I found the plot very confusing, but nevertheless, I watched it over and over again because it was just the only new Doctor Who for years.
Alpha, if you refresh again, I'm have to send you to you a second time, mate. If not, I'm going to put the link in the chat and get you on straight away, because I have to start straight away, because remember, we only have Charlotte till 10, is it, Charlotte? And the movie's an hour and 25 minutes. So she'll get the whole movie in if we start in the next 5 minutes, man. So I'm going to put the link in the chat because I can't wait, to be quite honest. I know it's my fault, and I'm kind of rushing everybody, but we have to get this done. Oh, you're here, and I've sent the link in the chat. So someone can delete that now. Here he is. It's Alpha Omega. Yay.
Yeah.
Yay.
I
Welcome.
was really enthusiastic to watch this.
Right, well, I'm 3 seconds in. So what I'll do is I'll get everybody in the chat now to press 1 if you have the movie ready, if you're watching the movie with us. If everybody in the on the panel is ready, just let me know and we will
Yeah, I
get.
can press play and I'll just mute myself then and unmute if I want to say something.
Oh yeah, because you have to start before us. Yeah. Well, I'm 3 seconds in. I have Scarrow on the screen, so if you want to go 3 seconds in, Charlotte, and then do the countdown.
Yeah, that we can find about Freak, so
Because I can't go back to 0, 0, 0. It's fucking
no. Right, so let me just mute myself.
right. Right, well, I'll get one of the lads to do the countdown. Seems that you're muting, and you can just give a thumbs up when you've pressed play. How about that?
I'll do the countdown and I'll just press play once I've done it.
All right, then. Right,
Good.
right. I think everybody is ready in the chat. I see a couple of wands. Is everybody ready? I know I'm a bit late today, but, you know. Right.
If the chat's ready and everybody else.
Everybody is ready, yeah. Right, let's do this. Let's get into this movie. I haven't watched this movie in years now, or really haven't. So this is gonna be like you, Charlotte. It's gonna be a unique experience because it's been years. And I know I hated this movie, so it'll be interesting to see if my thoughts have changed. So go ahead, Charlotte.
Yeah. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
We're on the planet Scarrow. Now, I found this very confusing because I was really confused to why Scarrow was back because the 7th Doctor blew up. And it was like all those unexplained questions. How did the Master become this snake being? I mean... And I remember they didn't show the Daleks because the Daleks had been copyrighted.
And why would they have him on trial? Wouldn't they just like kill him?
Yeah, I think the problem was this was trying to be for America, but it wanted to be connected to the classic at the same time, didn't it? It was like, which one?
Will say though, the theme tune is fucking brilliant. I love the way
it's really epic.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure the Big Finish, they sort of used this as a base for his theme on Big Finish, but obviously it's their version of it. But I'm pretty sure they do it based off that because it sounds familiar to what I've heard on Big Finish for him.
I still maintain that Sylvester McCoy's name should have came first.
Yeah.
Because he was still the incumbent. He was still the Doctor.
This was a huge model police box, especially made for that sequence. And it's absolutely brilliant, and there's no CGI to that.
No, here. I saw one in a future Doctor Who, whatever, where obviously with the preface of if it gets its feet back. I would love a TARDIS. Obviously, they can't copy this one because of copyright, but just to use this as a base, just to have this sort of whoever designs the TARDIS have this in mind. Because I agree with you, the TARDIS inside is gorgeous.
This TARDIS interior was an aircraft hangar, if I could remember rightly, because they had to film it in something huge. And Philip Seagull, he went to the extreme with this. He had everything in this TARDIS that was from all the Doctor's adventures. I mean, it was complete to the 900-year diary, to the bags of gold dust to defeat the Cybermen, and I mean the chess sets as well, and everything from the Tom Baker era. They went. You can see that in the diary line in the table there.
I've always thought though, the diary's like such an old-fashioned thing for the Doctor to keep.
Yeah.
I thought that when Capaldi did it. I was a bit like, surely that would just be more hard work than it's worth.
And then the Jelly Babies coming
I
back.
know,
I
the
mean,
little hobbits to Tom Baker. See, I like
yeah,
the start of this movie. The start of it is actually pretty impressive, I have to say.
it's
I
very
don't like the
impressive.
way Sylvester McCoy's doctor dies in this, though. I
Yeah,
thought it was disrespectful. I don't
yeah.
know about you guys, but I know they brought him back for the movie, but for the way he was killed, I don't like. I don't know.
I think they wanted a dramatic scene for him, like dramatic scene for him going out, But it would have been also nice if he had the umbrella, the question mark umbrella, like maybe a kind of gold handled question mark umbrella or something like that. Something, to add that finishing touch. Because I mean,
Yeah.
this is the best costume he's had since his early beginnings as the Doctor.
Oh yeah, but I've got a feeling they almost, I think you get the vibe of this that they really wanted to make use of the American setting.
Yeah.
And it's like this sort of way to go out would never happen in Britain. It's very American, isn't it? To be like, oh, it's basically a gangman shooting, isn't it? He gets caught up in, and it's sort of like wanted to very much be. This is set in America, like to sort of really emphasize that.
I mean, I love the TARDIS with all the candles all about. Is very. I think Philip Seagal was trying to get the gothicness of the Tom Baker era and put it into the TARDIS. So it was done quite well. And actually, this wasn't Chinatown in San Francisco. This was all completely made up for the movie. And it has atmosphere from the very start. I mean, you can see it. But this scene here with the guns and that, it was because an incident, a school shooting incident that had taken place early that year in Scotland in Dunblane. And when the TV movie was supposed to due to go out in May of 1996, it got cut. The scenes where the guns get cut from the footage that was going to be shown on BBC One because of that incident.
I like how they've done the Smith thing here, because that's what would happen. Like, oh, you know his name? No, just call him Smith. I like that. That's a nice little explanation almost for the name.
I mean, they wanted this completely action packed. I mean, it's to look great.
Yeah, it's very much got, like I said, this is the first time me proper watching it. It's giving me massive comic book vibes.
Yeah.
Just even from the get go, like a really, it feels like a 90s comic book movie.
And of course, the TARDIS is going to get its grand entrance now.
Yeah.
Just like every American movie where they want something to make a grand entrance.
Look at the bullets flying off it. I mean, that's totally cool.
That is deadly, man.
Yeah.
But then you see the CGI snake thing. That's the master now.
Yeah, it looks more like the Terminator.
It does a bit, doesn't it?
So I mean, to be shut.
I didn't like the hospital scenes with Sylvester McCoy. I thought it was too kind of grim and too graphic. I mean, they cut a lot of that out of it for the broadcast version, but I just didn't like that.
I think it's an interesting what if though, isn't it? Like, what if a doctor was regenerating and somebody just found him? Like, they would take him to a hospital. It makes sense. I think it's not a bad sort of different approach to a doctor dying.
So the seventh Doctor here that got shot down, he wasn't dying at all. He was just wounded, and when he was taken into hospital, it was because the Doctor had two hearts, and the surgeon didn't know where to go, and that obviously killed him, and that's what led to the kind of suspended regeneration, because that thing had been stuck in his heart.
Yeah, and that's why some fans think it's such a graphic regeneration as well, don't
Yeah.
they? It's sort of like the body knew something had gone different or wrong almost. That's why you have. That's, like I said, it's very on the nose, but it's definitely like you can tell they were thinking of Frankenstein and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you can understand that to Americans, that's not. You can understand to try and explain regeneration. It's such a, and we've said this to non-Who fans. It's such. You'd think it'd be a simple thing to explain, but it's not. So it's like they had to think of a good way to explain this concept, and I think that's what they thought. Oh, it's like Frankenstein. Let's have that as a motif.
It was like Frankenstein became Jesus. I mean, the moment the eighth Doctor arrived and he was in a shroud, and he banged down that door at the morgue, and the mortician saw him, and he collapsed. I mean, the camera shots, the camera angles. I mean, it's
all very good. It's very well done.
yeah, and that's what New Who lacks. I kind of feel. And the X-rays are very kind of throwback to Spearhead from space as well. And I thought this snake thing for the Master, I thought it was kind of way off for the character of the Master.
Yeah, it's a bit odd, isn't it?
It's very odd because you know that the Master steals bodies. He doesn't transform himself into snakes to kind of survive. I mean, unless they were trying to do the Adam and Eve kind of sort of thing.
Yeah, like you said, there's the whole. Because I think hasn't what's his name, Siegel, come out and said, no, I didn't purposely do a Jesus like motif for the Doctor, but McGann's come out and said when I was playing it, it felt very like even wasn't a motif, like there was a lot of like links to, like you said, with the shroud, and even just the way he does entrance knocking down that door, it is literally straight from the story of Jesus appearing after the crucifixion, isn't it, almost? So they must have just not like an unconscious thing when they were doing it. But like I said, you've got to remember that it's hard enough to introduce the Doctor, I think, as a character to Who fans, but to also chuck in a regeneration in the first 5-10 minutes, they sort of set themselves up with a lot, didn't they, really?
Yeah. And especially if this was done now, I think it would be more kind of complicated, and his DNA would be, highlighted, and you know what Rose said in the Christmas Invasion, one bottle of his DNA could change the human race. And this is basically 1999, and they don't have a clue what they're doing.
Yeah, no, it's like when in Matt's run in Impossible Astronaut, he wants them to burn his body. And like Rory and Amy's like, no, we're going to bury him, and River's like, no, if one species gets even a bit of Time Lord body, we need to burn it so it can't be used for that reason, wasn't it?
Yeah. But I think that was actually the problem was sorted by Rassilon himself, because when he developed the time travel experiments with Omega, when they were developing the first TARDISes, and they wanted their Time Lords to have a symbiotic nuclei in their cell structure, maybe they kind of found a way around that, because you don't know. I think they were just trying to make it as gruesome as possible, just to kind of make it as realistic as possible. And they've actually done a good job of it. But you think about it this way, you've got a surgeon who's playing Puccini. I mean, during a surgery, does any surgeon really do that in reality?
No, it comes across a bit, trying to make her a bit eccentric almost, doesn't it?
Yeah.
A bit, because she's going to be the companion, make her a bit different.
So she's going to be the kind of match to the Doctor.
And he just happens to be sleeping with his mouth like the widest possible thing he could. That's a bit... See, this is a bit alien-like now, isn't it?
Yeah.
The way it shows it going into his body, it's very alien-like.
I could do without the opera music.
I think it's the scene is completely horrific.
Yeah.
I mean, it was totally overdone. I don't think that should be anywhere near a series as Doctor Who. But this is a movie, and they were trying to go for something else. And Russell T Davies done the simple thing was when he brought back Doctor Who, he had already had a template for the Ninth Doctor, and he had Christopher Eccleston in mind, but he was looking for other actors to play the Doctor, and then Christopher Eccleston sent him an email and asked him for the part, and it just completely all came together, and then Billy Piper get hired as Rose Tyler, and everything came together for the 2005 series. But if only Russell T Davies done it a long time ago, it may have been a success back then. With the problem with this movie, you're trying to wow an American audience, and you're also trying to wow a British audience at the same time. And the British audience can look at this and think, oh no, this is too American. And the Americans can think that too, but they love the British elements. Then how well is this movie going to do when it's just only going to be released onto television and video? It's not going to hit cinema.
Yeah, but they got so lucky by casting McGann.
Yeah.
They got so lucky. Because I really love McGann for his Big Finish stuff. He's like one of my favourite Doctors on Big Finish. And I think it was...
All McGann brothers could play the Doctor because they've got that quality.
Yeah, they all look really similar.
Yeah.
I've seen the Paul brothers and I'm like, God, you guys, you can tell you're related. But no, it's just, I think McGann's just the right amount. And I've always thought this. Especially in this movie, he's young enough that he would suit like the American who would naturally gravitate towards a more younger, good-looking Doctor. But he's got that sort of classic otherworldliness that especially classic fans would want in a Doctor. I think he's sort of the best of both.
Yeah. I mean, I was completely taken aback by the costume when I first saw
it's
it.
terrible.
I mean, the velvet frock coat and the grey trousers and the waistcoat was like a throwback to the Wizard of Oz. You know, you can see it
It's
in
too much, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, it is completely. How can I say this? This movie is very fan wank. That's all I can say.
But at least it knows it is. That's the vibe even I'm getting from watching this this much so far. It knows at times it's a bit camp, and
Yeah.
like you said,
See, I don't think this will appeal to the bigger, wider audience. It'll appeal to the likes of me because I'm a Doctor Who fan. And I think that's what Philip Segal, because he is a big Doctor Who fan, and I bet the whole of the production team that was making this were Doctor Who fans, and they were in complete meltdown when McCoy came onto the set and McGann came onto the set, and they were aboard the TARDIS and all that, and you know it must have been an experience for them.
but it must have been weird also to think like this is probably this is probably one of the most free teams we've ever had for Doctor Who, because it wasn't the BBC making it. It was obviously the BBC, basically from what I can tell, had nothing to do with this. They just said, yeah, you can do it, and then they just let them do it. So that must have been like scary and freeing at the same time.
Well, I think it was Paramount Pictures and Fox and BBC Worldwide that had the kind of rights to it, and there was a lot of legal disputes over this television movie and the rights of Doctor Who, and that's where they got the blame. Is why it could never come back after this, is because Fox wanted nothing to do with it, further to do with it, and the BBC didn't know what to do with it, and basically it was just Doctor Who was shelved after that, and it was just back then it just extended into the wilderness years, and it was like Doctor Who was only kept alive in the videos, the books, and then the DVDs and the magazine and the comic strips, and Doctor Who magazine. And that was it.
Okay, that's a bit fake looking.
Yeah.
I'm almost getting like Hammer horror vibes with some of these effects.
I mean, the lightning. You know to start a regeneration.
See, that's not. I don't mind that idea. I think that would work if you obviously didn't do it so on the nose like they did then.
And the face pulling was actually Sylvester McCoy's gag. I think he'd done that when he just was taking the role. You know, it's like, and they had put that into the regeneration. You know, like the face pulling, the regeneration was melting into McGann. I never liked the concept of the Frankenstein element in this to the regeneration.
I don't mind the lightning as such, but I want to see the regeneration proper. I didn't think, yeah. Watch your Frankenstein, mate. There's always going to be weird bumps in the night.
I mean, why would a mortician be sitting watching a Frankenstein movie eating popcorn? I mean, it's a bit silly.
Well, maybe they're on call 24/7, unlike we are in Ireland and the UK. You know,
passing the time.
You know, they could get a call. There could be a homicide anytime. You know.
Super strength now.
I always thought this bit was just funny. It was just comic timing.
Yeah. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, folks. Smash that like button. Yeah, this is a bit stupid because no hospital would be this empty.
Especially this late, it seems to be the later you are in a hospital, the more busy you get. If you go off any stories, you hear nurses or people say who work in A&E, they go, yeah, early's fine, it gets later, that's when you get all the drunken idiots come in.
Now, this always got to me because of a disused part of the hospital in this kind of state. I mean, you really wouldn't expect it to be in this condition. But I like this scene here.
So yeah, random guys in your car, random guy pulls out a needle from his chest.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, I'm just going to carry on having this person in my car. Not chuck him out the side of the road at the first opportunity I get.
But the master taking over Bruce's body like that, I mean, I thought it was a bit naff. But the locker room scene here is quite interesting. It's very much like a kind of throwback to John Pertwee's Spearhead from Space. And the scarf. Oh man, imagine that. There's a multicoloured scarf, exactly like Tom Baker's in a locker.
But I still, there are little things that they do in it that I do like, the little throwbacks, like so. Oh,
I mean, the sonic screwdriver. I wanted that sonic screwdriver when I first saw it in this movie. And the yo-yo. Tom Baker. And there just happens to be an Edwardian velvet frock coat in a locker.
Yeah, no, it's funny because now it's reminding me of 11th Hour.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, Moffat must have known what he was doing now. Now I've watched this. Because Matt basically does the same thing, it's just it's not as ridiculous clothes he finds.
And that TARDIS key, I think it's well done. It has all the elements in it, and you know it's not skipping in anything.
I used to have one of those.
I had one, but it kind of broke.
Say what's the actress's name who's the assistant?
Grace Holloway.
She's a good-looking woman. I didn't critic how good looking. she's a bit of a knockout actually. For a companion.
She lets him down in the end.
Oh yeah, but I'm like the red hair, like she's quite striking.
And they were going to dye her hair blonde because they wanted it specifically for this.
The red hair looks way better.
Yeah. I didn't like that scene where the strangulation happened and killed that Bruce's wife. I mean, when I first saw that, I thought, well, it's typical of the Master to do such a thing, but just like that, I mean, there would be other ways. The Master would have. I don't know what the Master would have done, but it's very grim.
I suppose that you could argue he's just taken over a body, so he probably wouldn't be his usual self. It would be he'd be like the equivalent of post regeneration craziness, but what you'd get for taking over a body instead.
And I completely loved that costume that he had. I mean, it's very the Doctor, and it screams the Doctor in you. And I mean, but even that, I think it was a major kind of throwback to the classic Doctor.
Oh yeah, it looks almost like somebody young Bill
Hartnell.
would wear. Yeah, like a young Bill.
The cravat, and the waistcoat, and the
Yeah, and this is why I like, because I've seen some people like say, oh, that's why the Doctor should always wear weird clothes because he's not human, he's an alien, and he wouldn't.
yeah.
And I just don't agree with that at all. I'm like, no. Yes, at a pinch, if he was literally like didn't have anything to pick from, he would have to pick from what he had. But if the Doctor's got any choice in his outfit, he would not go for just a bonkers outfit. That's just like what people now try and argue. And it's like, no.
He wouldn't go for a Colin Baker outfit.
The Doctor, in my opinion, should dress like a smartly dressed gentleman, but kind of casually. You know, like kind of loose, casual, smartly dressed gentleman. Like,
yeah, no, I'd say it should always look very. It should be enough that it's not something that like every normal day person would put on.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't look like individual bits have been put together to make the most quirky outfit possible. Just because he's an alien, it's like, no. Yeah, he's been on Earth for so long now. Oh, now he's doing the scene. Unless I'm ahead of you guys a bit.
I'm at the scene where the Doctor is at the bed, not the Doctor, but the female Doctor is saying she's quitting and she's just after getting into the elevator and Paul McCann's just after getting in with her now.
I've just had the scene where when he's at the park now and he's just like looking at the sky and talking about the shoes fit well and all that.
Is there a difference? Is there a difference between the special edition and the what I have is on the box is dubbed special edition. So far, everything seems to be, the same as, I don't see anything special about it so far.
See, this is how they were dealing with the post-regenerative amnesia. So they had this going on for half of the movie, the post-regenerative amnesia, if I can remember.
Yeah, I think just because I think the new one has sort of done that to death now, I'm at the stage now where I'm like, when a Doctor regenerates, have obviously a bit of the episode where he's a bit not sorted yet in his body, but don't hang around for ages on that. By the end of the episode, your Doctor shouldn't be having, for me, any amnesia whatsoever of the first episode.
And I never liked that scene when he was pulling it out of his chest, it was a bit graphic.
This is a more adult Doctor Who.
Yeah. And I think that's what we were going to be expecting from Doctor Who. It was going to be more Buffy the Vampire Slayer, serious. And then I realised, oh, this is Julia Roberts' brother.
Yeah.
I thought, crikey, he's one ugly dude compared to his sister. She's perfect.
Well, from what I've read, he was a Doctor Who fan for a long time.
And he's completely scary as well. You can see that in him. He's
sort of like a Terminator scene here.
Yeah. The gelled back hair and the glasses and the leather coat. And the only one that's in costume is the Doctor. And I remember McGann hated the wig. He didn't like it.
It was probably horrible to wear, that's why. Because didn't he, I'm sure I've heard the story, he shaved his head for a role because he didn't think he'd get it. Like, he got told you're the Doctor, but then it took ages for the filming to start, so he got another role or was prepping, so he'd shaved his head, and they were like, oh no, we need you to have hair. So, poor fella had to wear that horrible wig.
This wasn't anywhere near the time of the Alien movie he did, was it?
No, I think Alien was later. I could be wrong. Chat will probably correct us. But I remember, I'm sure I heard, he was basically a skinhead almost. So they really had a panic when they saw him. And they were like, no, the Doctor can't look like that. You have to look like Byron almost, and I think that's why he looks a bit the way he does as well with the outfit. It's like almost like a sort of Byron sort of Victorian gentleman poet.
And the change of actor, I mean, she's completely believing that's the same person. I mean, she doesn't question the change of why he's different from the man that she killed in the operating table. She was trying to save, but she actually killed him. See, there's a lot of holes in the plot. It is always explained why the Doctor changes persona. Now, this wasn't a Chinatown setting. It was all about upset surrounding the police box, TARDIS prop. And this is the interesting bit. It's bigger in the inside.
Yeah, but what you're saying, to be fair, I think she's more likely to believe because of, like you said, almost the gore that she'd seen with him before.
Yeah.
Like, I think even if you wouldn't believe, if you didn't, I think she obviously doesn't understand he's Time Lord and all of that, but she knows he's something non-human.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, you're the same person.
So sometimes the TARDIS lock is isomorphic, and other times anybody can just go in.
Oh, but when the plot demands it.
It seems to even like humanity. See, when Chan Li touches one of the TARDIS pillar things, it kind of, the TARDIS kind of activates. It likes humanity.
Well,
for some reason.
But the Master got into.
Yeah, I was going to say that sort of blows that there. No, I think it's probably been knocking around with the Doctor so long with humanity, it's taken a liking to like the Doctor.
Yeah.
I would argue.
Or unless that's because the Doctor is half human.
Yeah.
You know.
That bit of canon that we all collectively said no to.
You know, I actually don't think that's as bad as the Timeless Child. I mean,
Oh God,
it does
no.
not completely ruin the fact the Doctor's still a Time Lord, and the fact that the Doctor was going to be described as some kind of hybrid. You know, he was going to be half
hybrid
Time Lord,
works.
half human.
It's like it's you can't compare because it's such a throwaway line almost, and that's how the fandom treated it. That they sort of said, no, we're not counting it almost, and that's the thing with canon, which is like what I think the current era and the changes is why I don't think they're going to stay. I mean, when it comes to fandom accepting them or embracing them, because you need to have anything to stay in canon in any show. A show can physically tell you something, yes, and it can technically be in canon, yes. But if the fandom in large does not accept it, then it is basically dead canon, is the term I use for it, that it's there. Like the half human thing. But if it's sort of like a collective voice that is against it, it's just going to fade into obscurity. And that's what's going to happen with the Timeless Child. It's just going to become, yes, it's technically there. They're never going to take it away, but it's never going to have any staying power.
Well, if the Timeless Child gets retconned to be the Master, well, that would probably explain because he.
Yeah, but they're not going to do it.
No.
Then they're not going to retcon it.
It's like the Time Lords becoming the Master Race, you know. But Chibnall already ruined that with the Cybermen becoming the Master Race.
Enigmatic Joker says it's quiet in the chat. Yeah, it's very quiet. No, it's normally a lot busier than this. I don't think there's many fans in the movie, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, I've noticed this. If it's like an episode in New Who that people don't like the chat's quiet. So, and I think the movie's got that sort of reputation now, hasn't it?
I think it was the fact because it was a one-off movie, and basically there was no continuation, and the continuation was only in the books. You had to use your imagination by what was in the books and what was in the comic strips and Doctor Who magazine. I mean, that was all it, and then till Big Finish came along and started producing the entire Paul McGann series.
Yeah, but I've listened to all the beginnings of McGann on audio, and you can they hardly touch on the movie.
Yeah,
because they didn't have any rights to it. They probably still don't. Like you said, of the legal situation. So even his Big Finish stuff, no threads were carried over. So this was, like you said, it was pretty much a one shot.
It was just an attempt by a fan to get Doctor Who back. That's all it was, and it was because Doctor Who had been cancelled and it had been in the wilderness years for so long that some fan that wanted it to come back to life, and basically the TV movie versions that were written up at the time, I mean, they were completely over the top. I mean, for the Doctor and the Master and the Spider Daleks that never actually made it, because I think it was copyright issues because of the Terry Nation estate. Well, Terry Nation was still alive back then, so but there was a lot of issues around the Daleks then anyway. So they were trying their best, And that's how the Daleks just get Dalek voices. You know, they sounded like Smurfs in the start, and they didn't have all the rights to the existing Monsters franchises. As if Barry Letts had copyrighted the Master and all that, and I mean, whoever wrote the Master could have copyrighted that, but they didn't. And there was a big revelation in the TV movie. It was supposed to be written by John Leakley, who originally was developing the TV movie, and it was an entire Bible. It was like a whole creation of Gallifrey and all that. And it was described that the Doctor and the Master were actually brothers.
Yeah,
One
that
was the
sort of has
oldest
been
than the other. That one was really the Doctor was the oldest, or the Master was the youngest, and he was causing all the problems. And it was supposed to be like the Doctor decided to go out and search for his father, and his father had TARDISes. They were disguised as police boxes and pyramids and all that thing, and it was going into history and all that, and it sounded like a very contrived plot, worse than this.
Yeah, no, I've heard that whole thing of people saying, oh, in the classic era they were going to eventually get to the whole they were brothers story, and I agree. It's just I think it would have made them. I don't like stories where everybody's connected, and it would have just felt like, oh, of course, why can't we just have them as enemies without that family connection?
So what they had planned in the classic series between Roger Delgado and John Pertwee, that they were the aspect of the same thing. They weren't brothers, but they were the aspect of the same being. And
yeah, like two sides of a coin.
The Doctor was the ego, and the Master was the ID. They were two separate entities of the same person. It was to be described as.
Yeah, it's like that's the whole point of the Master and the Doctor. Mm-hmm. It's like they're supposed to be these sort of two opposing forces that just happen to have like this weird magnetic pull almost to each other.
Yeah.
But never, not a familial pull.
I think that's where most of all the Time Lords are. I mean, the Time Lords are supposed to be this kind of superior race, and they were only just there to kind of observe the universe and observe every event that went on in the universe and gather knowledge. And all that knowledge was fed into the Matrix, as it were, and they had balanced the Eye of Harmony to balance out the planet. So the planet Gallifrey would have been perfect stasis. That it would never wither or anything that would happen to it. But as you can see in future adventures, and the Gallifrey can actually be destroyed and all that, and it can go into pocket universes and all that.
No, me and Daniel were chatting last night, and we joked about that. We were like, God, Gallifrey has had so many things happen to it at this point. Like it's been destroyed, it's been put in like parallel universe, like you said, it's sort of like disappeared for a bit and then been found again, and then can just be destroyed in a sentence now. It's just like it's one of those, when the plot demands it, Gallifrey can just, whatever happens to Gallifrey.
I don't like too much things happening to Gallifrey. I just like the idea that the Time Lords can be, can pull the Doctor up at any time. That the Doctor's adventures, like they can use the Doctor and they can manipulate him into doing things and all that for them.
Well, a lot of the Eighth Doctor stuff that I've listened to so far on Big Finish, that's a massive part of it. Because obviously Gallifrey hasn't been destroyed yet, it's there, and he'll be on an adventure, and they will literally just scoop him, and he'll appear, and he's like, right, why have you got me this time? Like, what do you want me to do for you now? He's almost like that errand boy. And like they just sort of snottily tell him, right, we need you to do this. And he's like, I don't want to, and every time he fights, but he ends up doing it.
Yeah.
So they are very much like that in Big Finish or with the Eighth Doctor.
So the way I see the Doctor is that he's the biggest, the rebel. He's the freedom fighter. He's the one that always on the side of right and truth and justice. And you know he's trying to defend all those that are, you know, that are shunned by society and all that. And
yeah, always the underdog, isn't he? He goes for the underdog and defends.
Yeah, he defends them and he really kind of supports them to the extent that, you know, he doesn't stand for any rubbish. I mean, he uses his Time Lord abilities, you know, to save planets and all that, and the human race as a species amuses him because it's an akin to his own, but before it had became, you know, corrupted by, you know, the Time Lords being all powerful and all that.
Yeah, because he, especially in the new stuff, he talks a lot about the potential, doesn't he, of humanity, and like, and when aliens do say, like, why do you keep saving these primitive, sort of violent, sort of people? And he usually just ends up saying it's because I know they can be better. I know they can do these amazing things. They just need a bit of a push sometimes, or a bit of a guiding hand. And I almost see the Doctor as sort of like our sort of humanity's guiding hand at times. That he's there, he's in the background, he doesn't take credit, he's just sort of like maybe making the right people at the right time listen to him to make humanity go in a different direction almost.
So at this point now, she knows that she's beginning to distrust them, and that there's a major distrust that he's completely insane, and basically that she wants him to go to a kind of psychiatric ward, and because that she's trying to understand this person, and basically she's getting nowhere. But as we see later on, that kind of situation kind of breaks up. And he sees the alien eyes, he knows it's the Master.
Now we got to get a motorcycle chase in there for the American audience.
I think this is a totally ridiculous scene. I mean, projectile vomit on... this burning her. Jelly baby.
I love the police officer's reaction.
I like this sleight of hand kind of version to the Doctor that he can, you know, how he has taken a hold attention that he can, You know, he can whip something out of someone's pocket or something like that without them knowing.
I was going to say, didn't Sylvester do that once or twice? His doctor.
Yeah, Tom Baker kind of did that. I think Colin Baker did it as well.
My favorite Jelly Babies thing is when he's with the gun. He says, "Stay back, or I'll destroy you with this deadly jelly baby."
Tell you what, those look like contacts Eric's got in. They look painful. Yeah. They look like really heavy contacts. That would probably be nice.
Yeah, I just don't like the way he hammed up this master though. It's so hammy. It's not even believable.
What, like Sacha Dhawan?
Sacha Dhawan's master is brilliant. He doesn't.
No, Sacha at the beginning was really good.
People actually confuse what Sacha Dhawan does. Sacha Dhawan is a lunatic. He is completely off the charts. He's not hamming it up. He is that crazy.
See, I'm in between the both of you.
I believe wouldn't only destroy Gallifrey, but would destroy the whole universe. This master would have no problem doing that.
See, I like Sacha at the beginning, like when and I'm not talking when it was human. Right. I liked him when he gave the message, the hologram message, to Whittaker. I thought that was a brilliantly acted scene from him.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I really like your master. And then I saw clips of him near the end, and I was just like, oh, you're doing John Sim again. We've got a crazy master again. Can we just have one that isn't like bouncing off the walls?
I know what people are saying, and I defend him here because people do compare him to John Sim. Go back and watch John Sim's performance and then watch Sacha Dhawan's performance, right? It's completely different. It's just there are some elements that Sacha does actually use. But if you look at it, trust me, if you put John Sim and Sacha Dhawan's master in front of you, right, Sacha Dhawan's master, would destroy the universe. Whereas
I'm not denying that. I'm just saying as a personality trait, I'm fed up of it in the master.
Yeah.
Well, it's the master's kind of bipolar. He's manic, depressive, bipolar. Kind of, he's. I mean, even the doctor.
Traumatic regeneration as well, though. Think about it. Like he let himself die. He was brought back. That was very dramatic. I mean, don't get me wrong. I hate those specials that he's in, where he's got the lightning and all come and he's flying. I thought that was ridiculous. I really did.
Yeah, but I also think Sacha, and this isn't Sacha's fault. It's to do with Chibnall. I think one of the reasons why people like me have not taken to the craziness of it is he's coming straight after Missy.
Yeah.
Her whole arc, her final arc was about being good.
Redemption,
her final arc was a redemption arc, and it was done really well. And then to see the redemption, the master finally have that moment when she decided, I'm going to stand with the doctor, and then suddenly we're back to, I'm this mustache twirling villain again. I think that's honestly a bit of it as well, Noel, and that's nothing to do with Sacha. It's because
no, I get where you're coming from. I know, I do. I understand exactly where you're coming from. But how can I explain it?
See, I think Sacha Dhawan came after John Sim. You know that when John Sim died in the elevator after being stabbed.
It would make more sense if he was after Sim. It doesn't make sense he's after Missy.
Has anybody ever considered that Sacha Dhawan may not be the master?
You know, I was thinking that too. I was thinking he was the Valyard. You know, he was completely, the darker side of the Doctor, taunting the Doctor.
No, I think he's too vindictive for the Valyard.
See, I don't know. See, I think the Doctor has those personality traits, but he chooses to be the good version of himself because we have seen the dark side of the Doctor come out in little bits,
Yeah.
Look at the Green Lord, for example. Like what we watched recently, like only a couple of weeks back, like that's a perfect example of the dark side of the Doctor. Even Matt Smith, I thought it was obvious that was me. They're the dark impulses and all that. Like that's why everybody thought that Toby Jones was the Valiard, as fucking Super John has pointed out, because he did kind of have those traits. So I don't know. I'll go one step further and say I think, there's been rumours circulating for the last few years anyway that Sacha Dhawan and Jodie Whittaker are actually, it's Jodie Whittaker who's the master and Sacha is actually the doctor. Going on. Like what they did here in the movie, where the master is saying the doctor has me body, but it's not really his body. But I think this is what I'm telling you. This is just had to click it to me now because of what we were told. But I wouldn't be surprised if he's doing a Paul McGann here.
Yeah.
No. Jodie's incarnation's too stupid to be a master.
I don't know.
The master wouldn't be that stupid.
She has all the traits to the master. She's cold, right?
But intelligence, she has none.
All right, yeah. Well, that's the biggest flaw of the whole theory, Charlotte. She has to actually have intelligence, which she doesn't.
Yeah, to be the master.
Yeah. I mean, the master is a completely intelligent mathematician. And he's
a strategist. He's intelligent. He plans ahead.
Yeah,
way above the Doctor.
That was just a rumor now. That was one of the early rumors when Jordan Sirius 11, when people were speculating actually what he was going to do, and there was a body swap theory put out there. There was also the Doctor's body was fractured in different time periods and had to put herself back together. That was another.
That would explain the scattiness.
What?
That would explain the scattiness of Jodie's Doctor.
It would explain a lot of our characters. It would. It actually would. And if that's what he's doing, then okay. But why did you have to go? Why did you have to go about it this way? I mean, he still went about it, no matter what fans say, right? He went about it the wrong way, whatever he's trying to do, because it hasn't worked.
Yeah, but the problem is, all these lovely theories, they're quite complex, and this production team has proven they can't do complex to save their life.
You're right.
I mean, from the moment that Chibnall announced the Timeless Child and all that, I don't believe that at all. That just, it doesn't sit right with me. It never has sit right with me.
It'll never sit right with me. The Timeless Child, I reject it.
Yeah, the whole fandom will. That's going to be the legacy of it.
The thing about it is, I've seemed to upset a couple of people out there because I called anybody who supports this era a traitor, and that's how I feel. I'm sorry, I'm not going to step back anymore now. I'm going to be blunt about it. If you support what Chris Chibnall's doing, the destruction of canon, the destruction of the legacy of every single person that played, worked on the show, you're spitting in Verity Lambert's face. You're a traitor as far as I'm concerned. And if that's upset a couple of yous out there, well, the people that it's upset are exactly the people that I'm talking about. So be upset and feel sorry, because you know what? You've helped destroy a 50-odd-year-old show. And for what? For identity politics, for gender politics, and all the other nonsense that you want to stuff into Doctor Who. So this is your era, and it's coming to an end. It's coming to an end. Thanks be to God, because I tell you, this cannot go on. But Chibnall needs to go. But listen,
the whole series is coming.
I know I said the other day, and I was quite angry in a video where I says that people that have, took a step away need to come back. What I really meant by that was that I don't want people to come back full time and start ranting, right? That's not what I want. But I want people to highlight, I'd like people to start highlighting the issues with Chris Chibnall. I said this last year, right? We have to let the BBC know, because it's the only way we're gonna get rid of him. What the fuck? Oh yeah, I just seen the police boy go into the TARDIS.
He comes back again.
Says, look, and then he's back up again. Sorry. But
back to the movie.
If you asked me a year ago, did I see a future for Doctor Who? You all know what I would have said. No, it's finished. I still believe that if they make the right
Same here.
decision now, they could save this. They could save this show. But if they don't get rid of Chris Chibnall, right, and it's just Jodie Whittaker that's gone, well, Doctor Who's not making it to its 60th anniversary, and that's a given. It's going to be put on hiatus because it's the only way, right? And then maybe when those kids are grown up, the ones that are trying to ruin the show, when they grow up, maybe they'll grow out of Doctor Who, hopefully. That's what we hope. And then the show comes back then, and there'll be none of that nonsense anymore. I just want the sci-fi show. Doctor Who's supposed to be sci-fi. Even this movie itself has sci-fi elements in it, right? It has a bit of comedy in it, right? It mightn't be everybody's cup of tea, but this is far more Doctor Who than what we've gotten in the last 2.5, 3 years. Would you agree with me?
Absolutely. Because
I think the difference is as well, you can like...
Look at BBC, just stop being fucking stupid, right? Bite the fucking bullet, get rid of him, and bring Paul McGann back, right? We already know that the Doctor can revisit some old fucking faces. Yeah. Make Paul McGann the fucking Doctor. Uses our fucking heads. Fans will get on board. They won't give a shit how he's explaining it. If Paul McGann's the fucking Doctor, trust me, people are flooding to the fucking screen to watch him as the Doctor. Now stop the bullshit, right? Get rid of Whittaker, get rid of Chibnall, fucking install him as the Doctor and get someone in that actually loves the fucking show, right? To do fucking something decent with it. You can revisit old faces. By the way, I do have a bit of a rumor for you. I don't know if it's true. It's on Reddit. You aren't going to like this, but apparently they're going to be dragging poor Tom Baker back as the curator, apparently for Series 13 is the latest rumor on Reddit. Now, Marty has been given the rumor by someone else, but that someone else informed me that they were giving it to Marty, but Marty's going to give it to me, but it doesn't matter. They wanted to go through Marty to prove that it wasn't. It's they said, listen, it's on Reddit. You can take it out with a pinch of salt if you want to, but that's the story. Apparently, they're bringing Tom Baker back.
So is old Tom bent the knee now too?
No, I wouldn't say that. I would say what they're doing is they're basically using an old man that they know has regret from the way he left the show and have somehow said to him, listen, we can give you another cameo in the show. And of course he's going to take it. And I'm not.
It depends what they do with him too.
Right, I'm not going to slag him for it. Tom Baker never sell out, right? And it's not. And by the way, if he did appear, I don't want to hear that from anybody. If I hear anybody calling him a sellout because he went into the Jodie Whittaker era, they'll have me to deal with, right? At the end of the day, the man has had regret. We watched the interviews. You could see it in his eyes, right? He's wanted to make it up to the fans, right? And this would be his way because they'll frame it that way to him. They will. Right? And he'll fall for it because he loves the fucking show. And he does. He still loves it. Mate, he even says it. He didn't realise what he had back at the time.
I don't doubt he loves the show. I'm worried about what they're gonna make.
I agree.
Make a fool out of his character or something.
I agree, but I just hope fans don't pick on him. Pick on the writing. If the writing is shit, whatever they do with his character.
If he did come back and he didn't, I think the difference is fans don't. If he just came back and didn't do an interview like spouting any politics, then I don't think any fan would say that.
No,
I think it's if he came back and did an Eccleston of late, which is to come back to the show or do something to do with the show again, and then in interviews start spouting all the politics that we're fed up of hearing.
I think whoever looks after Tom Baker, his PR team or whatever, will make it very clear to people at the BBC, after especially the last time when it came about that only Matt Smith, Karen Gillan as well treated him well, but the rest of them didn't treat him very coldly, and that upset a lot of fans. So
I heard about that.
Come back, trust me, his representatives this time will make sure that he's treated with the utmost respect. Remember, that man, without that man and William Hartnell and the other guys, well, but remember, Tom Baker's the definitive Doctor, right? He is the definitive Doctor. He is the actor that elevated this show, right, more than the rest of them. And that's a fact, right? It's not disrespectful to Hartnell or anything like that. It just happened that Tom Baker was the right choice at the right time, and it just, everything clicked into place, right? So he deserves that respect. Now, if they bring him back, they better respect that character.
Yeah, but you know the writing's not going for.
They better respect.
You know, come on. You know, if like obviously this is rumor. We'll say that again for people on the internet. But if they bring him back, you know he's going to be lesser to Jodie's doctor.
Yes, that's what I'm worried about.
You know that's what's going to happen.
I don't think he'll dare. I don't think he'll dare. Think about this is Tom Baker. It's different to doing it to any other doctor, but this is Tom fucking Baker. They would.
I think his agents will go against it.
If he did that to Tom Baker, then do you know what he's doing? Do you know what he's doing? He's basically telling all of us fans, "Fuck you," right?
Right. This is the same man who basically had I've had an upgrade as part of a script.
Don't now, because you're making me angry now. I know what you're saying, and you're right. There is a possibility you could do it, but that's a rumor, by the way, on Reddit. So, or 4chan, I think they said, or whatever. I don't know, right? But just listen. Don't take it as gospel, because it's not coming from my sources, right? But if he is coming back, I'm going to be, look at Tom Baker, Daleks, Cybermen, Sontarans, Autons are talked about.
Probably Sasha back again.
Sasha. I mean, he's throwing everything at her.
Yeah, because he knows that he can't rely on his own writing.
Right. So BBC, listen, anybody at BBC listening to me, listen to me very carefully. He needs to bring all of these characters back, villains back as well, and bring back all doctors, right? Remember, this is how you know a show is actually on its last legs, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember Friends? And do you remember the season that they start bringing all the guest stars in, right? That's how you know that a show is on its last legs, when it has to bring in a guest star. So in one season, they had Bruce Willis. They even had Brad Pitt at the time when Jennifer was shagging him. They had other guests on the show, right? It's the same with Doctor. Look at Doctor Who. Look what he's supposed to be doing, rumored for Series 13. And by the way, I just want to tell you, this is probably all forgotten this as well. Don't be surprised if former companions come back as well.
Yeah, I remember one that you spoke about.
That's Series 13 now, right? Series 11, he got wrong. Series 12, he gave us some of the familiar, right? But was throwing the kitchen sink at it, but it's not enough now. Now he's got a couple of kitchen sinks now to throw at it for the next season. And he thinks it's going to work because he saw the Captain Jack cameo and he's thinking, well, if I bring back the Cybermen, if I bring back the Weeping Angels, they were very popular during the Moffat era, so the ratings will go up. That's all he's thinking. He's thinking about ratings right now, which is going to be his biggest downfall. Because he's not concentrating on the writing, trying to be clever, trying to write something good. He's trying to find gimmicks and a way of bringing the ratings up. So BBC, listen to me. After this series, it's time to sack him. It's time to move him on. Because what I've heard, by the way, just I think all you Blake fans out there, I'm sorry to let you know, but he's gender swapped Blake and he's gender swapped Dave on, and he is going to be doing a female remake of Blake 7. We spoke about it last year. The rumor has resurfaced. There's other people talking about it. And Chris Chibnall is heading this. So they gave him Doctor Who to destroy. Now they're going to destroy Blake 7. And that's who they've put in charge of all the sci-fi on BBC. Sci-fi. It's a fucking joke. It's a joke.
Yeah, I know.
The thing is with the Blake 7 thing, it's because I was thinking about it because I saw that rumor had resurfaced, and like with Doctor Who, there's a name there, there's a pedigree, there's built-in fan base, and problem. I know there's a fan base for Blake 7, but it's nowhere near the same level as Who. It's a very dedicated niche, I would argue, unless because I problem, and I know a few of you guys watch it. But it doesn't have that inbuilt fan base at the same level, so he won't have that as a blanket to get viewing figures. So if he does a bad job, it's just going to fall flat on its face even more than his Who.
Yeah, well, Lee, I think I'm being honest, mate. From what I've heard, the people that are right now behind the scenes, everything is up in the air. And that you could think imaginable, he's thinking of doing. Right. By the way, just give you an obvious thing. Don't be surprised if Jodie Whittaker is mentioned in relation to this project.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, but her agents, then they're not doing their job. If they let her have any more association with Chibnall.
Listen, if you have to gender swap a role, thinking that that's the way it's going to elevate a show, then you've already lost. He should just look. At the end of the day, I know Lee and myself. I don't agree with him even touching Blake 7, right? Let alone Doctor Who. But Blake 7, I have watched and I have enjoyed, right? But Blake 7 is unique. It's a unique show. It was played by, all the cast. I don't think you can replicate that again anyway, even with a new cast today. I actually think you should leave Blake 7 alone. I think it had its time. It was of its time. And just leave it there. Whereas Doctor Who was able to, because its main character is able to regenerate, it's able to reinvent itself all the time. Blake 7 can't do that though. Blake 7 can't do that. Trust me, they won't be. It will not translate well for an audience. This show, seriously,
the viewing figures will be worse than his Who.
It will be worse. It will be worse. It would be worse than Doctor Who. Trust me, it would. I don't know why they think he's the. I can't understand why they didn't do all this when Moffat was even around. Could you imagine a Moffat's Blake 7? Like,
well, that would be good.
He's Blake 7. Like, why are they thinking of doing all these things now under him, under Chibnall, when the ratings of Doctor Who are already down? How do they think he's the man? That's what I can't understand. There's the people above him. Seriously, the people above him. I don't know what they're smoking, but you want to lay off it because seriously, you must want to lose money because this is what's happening, right? Even the Doctor Who magazine was released, and every time that magazine's released, I always go in and have a look at all the tweets, right? People are not getting their subscriptions. Then when you see the feckin' stuff that's being written about the magazine, even the people that buy this magazine are not happy with the content that he's even Chibnall, even the interview, right? They were slagging that interview. Doctor Who fans get to ask Jodie Whittaker questions. No, Doctor Who fans didn't ask Jodie Whittaker questions. The woke Twitter asked their questions because you won't let fans ask Jodie Whittaker questions. Because the first question I'd ask her is why have you allowed Chris Chibnall to write your Doctor so bad, and why have you stuck around when this show is clearly a sinking ship? That'd be the first question I'd ask her. Then the second question I'd ask her is
missing the battle here.
Necessary to say that the show was about the male gaze, and you went and did that stylist video and you were making a laugh at fans. Can you explain that one to me? Because really, I thought that was ill-advised. People didn't like your Doctor already, and then you were saying all this stuff. And then I put the third question and the final question to her, and this would be, why have you allowed your friend who made such a big deal out of your casting to then bring another woman along to play
the Eye of Harmony,
Doctor, therefore making your Doctor null and void? And by the way, the timeless children rubbish actually makes your Doctor null and void as well. So what was the point of you? That's what I'd say. I'd say, what was the point of you? And then I'd add one more question. The fact that you didn't do the research is the reason why a lot of fans don't like you. What I'd like to know is why you didn't do the research. Was it because your boss told you not to research it, or did you choose not to research it? I'd like to know, actually, because we're told that Chris Chibnall told you not to, but I'd like to know, was it his decision or was it your decision? Of course, we'd never get a chance to ask Jodie Whittaker questions because it's always the. And by the way, for anybody that thinks, fans can't ask Jodie, no, they can't. All those questions were controlled. They're from accounts that we all know. Accounts that actually go around bully fans are the ones that feature asking these questions. It's actually weird that the bullies feature in the Doctor Who magazine. Oh,
Yeah.
but the big thing was all about Tasman. Oh, look at him in the photos. Don't he look cute?
Yeah, that's absolutely annoying. That they're trying to hype up the shipping.
It's happening. It's happening. It's happening.
See, I don't think Tubner will do it properly.
No, you won't. But it is
I
happening.
think he'll chicken out.
I think there'll be a kiss at some
Nah.
point.
There will be a kiss. There will. I know for a fact there will. I know already what he's going to do with this series. I know. There's going to be a kiss.
He's gonna make the Doctor a lesbian or something.
Listen,
like
it's
that.
predictable, Charlotte. We've been watching both series, and you've been watching as well. You know, understand his writing. You know it's coming. It is. I don't think he will chicken out because he's stuck with the. Think about it though. He has stuck with the children nonsense. He's not backing down from it. So why would he back down on this? I don't think he is because he hasn't even hinted at the two of them.
That's why I don't think he'll fully do it.
All we know is Yaz might be bisexual.
That's why I think it will be all Yaz, and the Doctor will just sort of be like, "Oh, I won't even acknowledge it until maybe like she's about to regenerate."
So Yaz is dying in her arms or something, and she gives her a kiss, and then that's it.
Yeah, that's what I think will happen if there's anything.
That's the way they'll probably do it. Yaz be dying in her arms.
Yeah.
And she'd be looking into her eyes. Yaz be looking into her eyes, looking up at her and she'd be, and then she'd be go, and she'll go, "I love you, Doctor." And Jodie's Doctor will look at her, and then she'll lean over and give her a little kiss.
On the forehead or something.
Yeah.
Or on the lips.
Or on the cheek.
Yeah, it won't be lips.
It won't be a full.
It won't be lips. They won't get away with that.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, like that would be the case normally, but I don't know. I actually
if they do anything, it would be like on the forehead. It would be on the cheek. It would be very tame.
Blake Seven is already dead if he's touched it. So that's the way you have to think with this. Listen, we need to remove that man. We need to have him removed.
You know what I can't understand is...
Listen, we need to get a campaign together. Even if it's getting a hashtag or something, but we all need to support her. We all need to come together in just that common cause. I'm not asking people to do videos or act like that, right? But we need to fucking put him front and center now of attention, right? And call out his flaws, right? And call out why he's such a divisive writer. And look at Ballstreck's video. I'm gonna take credit for that, by the way. And you might find it arrogant, but when I did my video, he said he was going to be doing a video, but I don't think it was that one. And I highlighted what was going on, and I said you need to do a video on this, and then I put up it's very important. And then he actually went and he did a video. So yeah, I am going to take credit for that because, like, for the simple fact of the matter is, it needed to be highlighted. And I thought his video. Have you seen his latest video, folks? If you haven't seen Ballstreck's latest video, I would suggest that you go and watch it. There's no shouting in it. Basically, what he does is he goes over the last couple of years. And he explains in a nice way, in a less shouty way than normal. He doesn't shout in this video whatsoever. It's one of the best analysis video that you'll see around. Even Lee is saying that Ballstreck's video is brilliant. Now, he did ask people, should he stick to that format? Would you like him to do more videos like that? I said yes straight away. I even sent him a private message to say, I think this is one of your best videos, mate. This, you got straight to the point. You explained why you think this era has failed, and you put the point across in a nice. These kids can't go after him now because he's not shouting it. He's not coming out in a nice, composed way, putting these points across now, and these can't give out to him because he's not being toxic, as they would call him. You know, he's put these points across. So if you haven't seen the video, my suggestion is go and watch it. But we need a bit more bigger YouTubers like Ballstrek to highlight all the stuff that's going on right now, the rumors, and all the other stuff that we've heard. Because, you know,
That's
even
the
that
first kiss scene.
Gallifrey one post. By the way, they're blocking everybody that calls them out. And so some people have actually started to call me out. What you getting upset for? But he don't seem to understand, so I'll explain it right without getting actually angry about it. But I'll explain it. It's simple. It's simple as this, right? This Gallifrey one, where the conventions are going to be happening, have come out and made a statement about Joe Martin's doctor.
Yeah.
Right. But the reason why I'm giving out is for the simple fact is that this has not been established that she is an earlier incarnation of the Doctor. All we know so far is that she's the fugitive Doctor, but we don't know where she fits in because Chris Chibnall and the BBC themselves have not explained it yet. So for Gallifrey one to go around and say and tell everybody, we've got some news for you. Joe Martin, the earliest incarnation of the Doctor, is going to be appearing at this convention. Of course, we're going to call you out because it's either a ploy to sell tickets, which I think is shabby in the first place, or second of all, someone from the BBC has actually told you. Then that means then there's a huge thing happening here, and we need to discuss it because we do not agree or accept the fact that she is an earlier incarnation of the Doctor. So BBC and Gallifrey one do have a lot to explain. So if you want to go around and block me and block everybody else that calls you out, go ahead, right? But you're a disgrace because you will take our money. You'll take fans' money when they go over to LA or wherever, California, wherever the convention is, and you will take their money. But you won't let them criticize or call you out. I'm sorry. We're not having this in the fandom anymore. You idiots are called out, right? And you still haven't answered the question. So, who told you that Joe Martin is an earlier incarnation of the Doctor? We want to know. And if nobody at the BBC told you, well then, did you still to sell tickets? And if so, why did you think that was appropriate? We want answers to their questions. You aren't getting away with this. I urge anybody to go on to Gallifrey one. I'm not asking you to go and say anything nasty. What I would like you to do is ask them how they come up with this, that Joe Martin is an earlier incarnation of the Doctor.
It's their headcanon.
What?
They're doing what fans do, their headcanon. In their heads, Joe is the earliest incarnation because, like you pointed out, Chibnall has not said where she fits.
Yeah.
I've kept track of what the BBC have called her to see if they slip and give her a number, and they have kept with Fugitive Doctor.
Yeah.
So I think, honestly, mate, I think nobody's told them that. I think they're just headcanon. They're just saying, we think, so we're going to say that in the tweet.
Well, as I said, though, then that's disgraceful. They shouldn't be making up their own headcanon. I'm sorry, not to sell tickets, right? These people need to understand that this is a sensitive issue with Doctor Who fans, right? And this is what I hate, the disrespect, the disregard, you know? I'm sorry, but that post, they were right to be called out. And then I had people coming to me, oh, you're getting upset over nothing, you're making a big deal over nothing. I'm sorry, but I'm sick of all of this crap. This has been going on for 2.5, 3 years now, right? Longer, right? We're not having it anymore. They're going to be called out if they say that. Now, I want to know who told them. Was it them, as Charlotte said, their own headcanon? If so, shoddy, shouldn't have done it to sell tickets. You're a disgrace, right? But you'll shut fans up, you will, but you'll still take their money. Scum. That's what I think of that. Or did someone at the BBC tell you? And if someone at the BBC tell you, you need to fucking speak up because we as fans have a right to fucking know. All right? Because we don't accept this. Right? We don't accept Joe Martin as an earlier incarnation of the Doctor. You could put her in somewhere fucking else, right? but she ain't going in anywhere near the classic timeline or the classic doctors. He's going to fuck off with that idea now, right? Simple as fucking that, right? Stick her in between fucking McGann and fucking Christopher Eccleston. There you go. Problem fucking solved.
You've got a massive gap there. And I was just like I said, me and Danny were chatting last night, and I literally came up with that and said, God, she would fit perfectly.
It would, because it wouldn't upset anybody. So fucking put her there, right? End the story, end the fucking discussion. Fuck's sake, do we have to do their jobs for them?
Yeah, because also I came up with this idea, like, oh, wait a second, my thing's falling.
Oh, have we lost that?
No, my headphones are coming off. Because it's
I thought you were doing a Cheryl and falling over on the bed like she did when she was drunk.
Well, no, but here's the other thing. Like, it's so funny you said that, because I literally said the same thing. Because how did McGann regenerate? He took a potion from the Sisterhood of Calm. So it wasn't a natural regeneration. It was a forced regeneration. So what if, by drinking that, like, potion, it meant he got extra regenerations that broke the 13 rule? And Joe is an extra regeneration because of that potion.
Before the Time Lords obviously gave Matt Smith, because Matt Smith ended up rebuilding the see? Hang on, that's perfect though. See, that's a fan, right? See that? That's proper headcanon right there, right? Not this fucking crap that these fans come out with. That's perfect. That's actually perfect. But go on, John. You give
What if it's just as Charlotte says about McGann regenerating? What if it caused a split off? You know, like two doctors emerging, and that Jodie Whittaker doctor emerging, and that Joe Martin doctor emerging, and it was unseen. She was just lying in the ground, and she was unseen.
But I was just thinking that, I was like, God, and think about it. Also in that minisode, he could have chosen what he became. He literally So what if that's how powerful that potion was? So what if it broke the 13 rule, and it was almost like, because they knew he was going to war, they gave him some extra regenerations
and didn't tell him.
Yeah.
See, that makes it. See, that's how simple it is. When you get someone that actually has half a brain, right? You don't even need a full brain, right? Chibnall has
Thanks, Noel.
No, you know what I mean. I don't mean it that way. I mean, the people that are supposed to be the experts, Charlotte. That's what I was. That's, you know me. I have a colourful.
I know.
The people that actually have a brain, right, are not using their brain. There you are as a fan. You've watched, right, and you've come up with something that would actually work, and it wouldn't. I mean, look. That putting Paul McGann in there, I've been thinking, putting Joe Martin in. I've been thinking about this a long time. Where could she actually ideally fit in? And after going through all the doctors and all that, the fans would be upset. Then I was coming up with excuse everywhere where I was putting her. But then when as I said, I put her between McGann and Eccleston, I was like, well, she fits there. Then Matt Smith reboots the universe a couple of years later, so then it would make sense. That's why nobody can remember the Joe Martin Doctor. It would make sense because Matt ends up rebooting the universe, which we will be watching because the Pandorica is next week.
If she was a natural part of that gap, it wouldn't work with the 13 rule. That's why I thought, the potion fits.
Yeah. I don't know. Right. Well, listen, we kind of did go off on a tangent, but it doesn't matter. The movie is bad anyway. That's why we start talking about other stuff. But let's talk about the movie. Let's give the movie a rating. We'll start with you first, Charlotte. I know you couldn't really see it, but
I tell you what, I could
watch it again, and then tomorrow or something, or next week, you can give you a rating if you want. If you feel like you can't give a proper rating because you
I'll do that then. I'll watch it during the week, and then the next time I'm on watch along, I'll add it as part of what we're
Right.
talking about.
Fantastic. Because I think that'd be fair because you weren't able to.
Mm.
You weren't able to hear it, so I think that's only fair. Do you want to do the channel shout outs before you go? Are you
Yes, I'll
able
have
to
to.
hang on?
Yeah, I'll have to bounce in like a couple of minutes. So
Right, go on then. You to do the channel shout outs then.
yeah, so me and Daniel were on a little 2-week break, and then we'll be back with series 2 of Line of Duty on Tuesday because we didn't want to clash with people on Wednesday, so it's a Tuesday again. Obviously, I'm here for Classic or whenever Noel wants me on streams. I'm trying to think, and this is a bit far in the future, but about August time, so in a couple of months, I'm back on the Script Doctors.
Fantastic. Thank you, Charlotte. You're more than welcome to come on any stream. You do know that.
Yeah.
If you're around. So, yeah, that's brilliant. But listen, yeah, as I said, when you come on the next time, you can give us your rating for the movie and see where you're at. Be interested to see how you rate it actually after watching it again.
Yeah, I'll make sure I properly watch it during the week.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Well, I'll leave you there for now. And whenever you want to pop off, you can pop off.
I'm probably best to pop off now. So thank you, everybody.
Well, listen, thanks for coming on. We really appreciate you coming on. And we'll see you soon, Charlotte. Have a good one.
See you soon.
See you, Charlotte.
See you.
Right, Queen Charlotte has left. Let's get to the lads now and see what they thought of the movie. We've got a rating in the chat already. If you would like to give us a rating for the Doctor Who movie now, please do so. But Enigmatic Joker gives us 6.5 out of 10. Let's see what our panel has to say about the movie this week. So we'll start with you, Super Doctor.
I would give it an 8 out of 10. It's not a perfect Doctor Who adventure. It's complicated. It's got so much stuff. It's got so much stuff of the Doctor's past in it. It's got absolutely everything all crammed into an hour and a half movie. Wonderful casting. Paul McGann's great as the Doctor. He nails the part. He's got a wonderful costume. Great companion, but never actually kind of properly made it. You know, it was just like in the plot of the Master and the New Year's Eve. I thought it was a bit kind of rubbish with the idea that the Master was going to try and destroy the universe at midnight. You know, it's just using the TARDIS and all that as the destruction weapon. You know, it was just because the TARDIS need a specific chip, and this chip, beryllium chip, kind of powered an atomic clock that was going to be kind of launched at New Year. I mean, overall, it's a complicated story. It's like all over the place. You've got Sylvester McCoy back for the regeneration, and that's just all he's back for, is to just so they can introduce the new Doctor, so they can so they don't need to alienate the classic Doctor Who fans. But obviously they've spent quite a lot of money in the budget. The for the TARDIS control room, they got the London police box right. They got all the details down for the TARDIS. They've got the all the accessories. The Doctor has the sonic screwdriver. They've got the TARDIS key, the exact Tom Baker TARDIS key in that, and it's all kind of throwbacks to Tom Baker, John Pertwee.
Yeah.
You know, it's like using all those elements as well, and you've got the hospital scenes, you've got the locker room scenes, you've got the scarf scene.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a complete nod to Doctor Who. Do I like this movie? Yes, I do. I think it's good. I think the acting's quite good. I think the production's quite good. The sets are quite good. There is drama in it. It's quite good drama. But as I said, the story is all over the place. But it's got good bits in it and good enjoyable bits in it and good scenes in that. But as I had seen that in 1996, I was very disappointed with the title music. You know, I was thinking that they would go away more a kind of original, but it just comes off like this is more superior Doctor Who than what we've had before. You know, this is a bigger budget. This is them trying to launch Doctor Who and make it into something that it isn't. You know, it's just one big attempt. You know, it's like to get the show back, and it ultimately failed with the American audience and the British audience, and it just kind of failed to kind of materialise with Fox television at the time and Paramount Pictures and that, and basically it just got abandoned because it ran into kind of legal problems with BBC Worldwide, and you know, and the whole the idea of the Eighth Doctor being lost in time, and then the novels came out, and sometimes it kind of the likeness to Paul McGann was kind of different in some ways, and the new adventure novels and that, and then it just went into Big Finish took it over, the Paul McGann the Eighth Doctor series and that, and kind of carried on from there, but. It was a huge gamble just to bring the Doctor Who back. That's all it was. And it just completely failed. It fell through.
No, I agree. I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. It's not as bad as I remember, but I did zone out quite a lot. McGann's performance and the supporting cast are absolutely brilliant. Even what's his face playing the Master?
Eric Roberts.
Yeah, Eric Roberts. I wouldn't even mind. I fucking follow his YouTube channel and all. You think I'd know his name? But Eric, look, I don't blame him. I don't blame him for his performance or anything like that. I mean, he did what he did with the script that he was given. This movie, look, I think we'll all agree that this movie has a lot of flaws. It did open up a lot of things as well with this half-human nonsense as well. Paul McGann, great. You know, I think he's the best thing about this movie, to be quite honest with you. There's a nice few comedic moments in it, which I think is needed, to be quite honest. But I agree with you. I thought the start of the movie, I thought the way Sylvester McCoy's Doctor died, I've never liked that. I never will like that. I didn't think, like yourself, John, I didn't think it was necessary. I think it was over the top to do it the way they did. Even the way they were trying to fucking shock him. It was like, move, and then bang, and then shock him again, and it was real dramatic and all of this crap, and you know, I didn't like it. I thought it was disrespectful as well to Sylvester McCoy to just bring him back for the regeneration. You know, they could have, you know, the movie was what, an hour and 40 minutes or something. This movie could have easily been a 2.5-hour movie or a 2-hour movie if they had given Sylvester McCoy more screen time at the start. You know, build it up a little bit more than what they did at the very start of the movie. Actually show us why the Doctor had the Master. You know, instead of just explain it on the screen, actually show us, you know, and give Sylvester McCoy a little bit more screen time. But I've never liked how he was disrespected, even though, you know, I don't really like his era that much. But I do like Sylvester McCoy. You know, he's a great actor. There's no doubt he has acting talent. You know, in hindsight, when you look back on his era, I think he did the best he could with the scripts that he got, you know. and his doctor is a good doctor. When you break it down, he is a good doctor. It's just a pity his era is just so 80s. That's the problem. It's just too fucking 80s.
He thought it was that bad because of the gobbledygook that was in it, the scientific jargon and all that, and the nonsense.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought I was going to rate this lower, but I have to be fair, and that's how I feel about this movie. It's still not going to be my favorite. It never will be. I respect Paul McGann for what he did with the one chance that he had at the time to play the Doctor. I do agree with John. I don't think they could have got anybody else. In fairness, I thought the casting of Paul McGann was absolutely spot on. So I'm grateful for that. If anything good has come out of this movie, it is the fact that Paul McGann, we got one of the best doctors. Let's be honest, we did. And we got to see him in those little webisodes then, which I think he deserved greatly. I still believe he deserves his own spin-off, but that's just me. But BBC are ticked. They'll never do anything like that because, they don't want to make money. They just want to lose money. So let them. But we'll go to Alpha Omega now. So, Alpha, your thoughts on the movie, and what would you rate it out of 10?
Yeah, well, keep in mind, this was supposed to be a pilot for the brand new series. I don't mind it being a little bit grittier, a little more harsh in some of the scenes, to update with the current society, I guess.
Yeah,
I think there was good performances from a lot of people, especially Paul. And I like the new theme that they came up with for this. And I think that overall, I liked. It's not a popular opinion, but Eric Roberts wasn't that bad. I like his no nonsense master, kind of ruthless. Some of the stuff was corny, yeah, but overall, I liked his portrayal. And I would give this a 7 out of 10.
Fantastic. I mean, look, I do you know what? I think there is, when it comes to Eric Roberts, right? Just to talk a little bit about Eric Roberts. I know that his Big Finish master has been a lot better than what was portrayed on the screen. He's a terrific actor. I'm not blaming him on any part for his performance in the movie. I just thought, I agree with John, the whole snake nonsense as well. Look, I know that the master is a master of disguise and all of this, but that kind of took it to it.
Well, I'm putting that aside. I'm just talking about his performance.
No, his performance was good at what he had to do, but I still, when I look at his master and compare him to other masters, he is out of place. He doesn't act like a master. And even Missy, I will admit, acts more mastery than his master did in the movie. And again, I think, this might be a factor as well. Eric Roberts is American, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you see, all the other masters were British, right? And then you get this fat American guy playing the master. Okay. And I don't think he understood the character, to be quite honest with you. I think over the years, since he's been doing it on Big Finish, he's understood the character and understands the character now. But I think at the time, and it's got to do with the writers as well, as you said yourself, Alpha, this was a pilot because this was to kickstart. Well, it was supposed to kickstart Doctor Who all over again. So, I mean, it was this production, let's be honest, was aimed more towards the American market more than the British market. And I think that's why, Eric Roberts' master is a bit of causes an awful lot of discussion. I just don't. I think he's the perfect example. I think it shows that, the roles like the master and the doctor. I know this is harsh to say. I'm an Irishman. People say, "Would you like an Irish master or an Irish doctor?" No, no. They should remain British. They're British. It's a British role, and it should be played by British people.
How about a Scottish doctor?
I don't think
it's the same thing with a Scottish doctor as well. I mean,
Lieutenant McCoy.
Capaldi was good as the doctor, but having a Scottish doctor, it just takes away and detracts from William Hartnell.
Well, you see, the thing about it is that he kept his Scottish accent.
Yeah.
Because we had another Scottish actor play the doctor.
Yeah.
David Tennant. And he put on the English accent. So Peter Capaldi chose to keep his own accent. Do I think that hindered his doctor? I don't think so personally. But I can see where it would for, say, American audiences. Because the Scottish accent, we'd be used to the Scottish accent in Europe, Whereas it's a very thick accent, let's be honest, John. It's a thick accent, especially Capaldi's. I wouldn't be surprised when Peter Capaldi's era was on, when it was on BBC America, that they actually had subtitles on when Peter Capaldi's doctor was talking.
Yeah. Or you wouldn't want a doctor sounding like Jamie.
It was like, even I had problems because I thought Peter Capaldi was speaking a little bit too fast. But
I don't know. I like his. I like his. I love his accent. I'm glad he kept his accent. I just wish Jodie Whittaker had changed hers actually, because her accent. They definitely need subtitles for her. So you see when she was on American Talk Show,
was Spanish,
and they put the subtitles on. So the fella that was doing, or the woman that was doing the subtitles, didn't even know how to spell Huddersfield because the way she was actually saying it. It's so funny, that clip. I don't know if you've ever seen that clip, but there's someone literally, whoever's doing the subtitles on the show, right? They show it on the screen. They don't know how to spell Huddersfield. It's because of the way she's saying it. She's very, very thick accent, Whittaker has as well. I think it was ill-advised for her to use her accent. I think she was, it was her idea to keep the accent, but someone should have told her to change it. Delgado was Spanish technically. Yeah, I know what you're saying, but he was technically Spanish. But you get where I'm coming from. Sometimes it works. Look, Eric Roberts. Someone said it in the chat there. Eric Roberts was cast because he was American for the American audience, because they knew who Eric Roberts was. Because at that time, Eric Roberts had his career he was in a lot of good movies, so he was well known. So but again, I'm not blaming Eric Roberts on his performance. He played it the way it was, the way he played it. I mean, some of the dialogue he had and the ridiculousness, the fucking invisible snake. That's the thing I didn't like. I just didn't like that concept. I know the master is a master of disguise, but that was just taking it a little bit too far, and it was ridiculous. And the scene in the bed with him, where it goes into his mouth, that's ridiculous. It's absolutely stupid. They could have come up with something completely different. And then the eyes, snake eyes, get away.
I mean, that totally detracts away from a Time Lord. I mean, a snake, for goodness sake. I mean, I think that the Master was really his end, his incarnations, but he wouldn't become a serpent.
No.
As we know, that the badly burnt Master and the Keeper of Traken, he took over the body of Tremas. It became younger when he took over the body, and it's not like it became a snake and jumped into Tremas's mouth. I mean, it's a bit silly.
Yeah. My mum didn't like Capaldi because she couldn't stand the way he spoke. I mean, look, that has happened before, hasn't it? But I mean, for look, a lot of the younger fans did tune out when Capaldi was cast. I thought that was actually understandable to a certain extent, because they had two young doctors, and then here comes an old man as far as they're concerned. But for fans like me, we were delighted. We were kind of like, well, about time they've kind of cast an older man now as the Doctor. But unfortunately for the BBC, you know, when especially the politics start getting into Peter Capaldi's era, he did suffer. The ratings were slowly declining. Nobody has ever denied that. We know the ratings under Capaldi were slowly declining. Nobody's ever denied that. But BBC's answer was, well, how can we give the ratings a boost or a jolt? All right, let's get rid of Peter Capaldi and let's bring in a woman. Right? Yeah. And that was their big grand plan. And their big grand plan was also to replace the older fans with newer fans. But unfortunately, that didn't quite work out for the BBC, because what Chris Chibnall has produced hasn't lit anybody, hasn't lit the spark under anybody, or nobody's enthused about it. And the only people that are behind this are the ones that obviously have agendas. They want all of this gender identity, gender swapping, you know, and all of this nonsense. I mean, I wonder how they would have all felt when I wonder how they'd all feel if someone comes in, I should say, and tries to retcon this whole nonsense. I don't see it being ever retconned, what's happened. But it'd be nice to see a showrunner come in and just totally ignore it and just do their own thing. I don't think, look, they can kick and scream all they want. But as I said, BBC's plan has backfired, because what's happened is you wanted to replace the old fandom with all of these activist twats. But what's happened is that there's not enough of them, because they don't really care about the show. All they care about is what agenda you're pushing at the time. Now that the show is not around, they don't give a crap. They don't give a crap. Now they're talking about what Doctor Who can do in the next series now to address certain issues. And then if you see most of it as well, right, the latest comments I'm seeing is that a lot of fans on the other side are disappointed because Jodie Whittaker's Doctor and Yasmin Khan haven't even had a hug yet.
Yep.
Right?
Boo-hoo.
Right? That's what they're talking about. So that's what's in their heads right now. When is Yaz and the Doctor gonna hug or kiss or scissor in the TARDIS? Trust me, go and check. Right in Tasman, you'll see all the comments for yourselves. Some of them are pretty disgusting, actually, because they have what they want to see happen between those two characters. Right, but that's what's on their minds right now. Nothing about what's going to happen in the actual series itself or the villains that are coming in. All it is, do you know, I've been watching Doctor Who for the last 2 years, and I'm bitterly disappointed that Yaz and the Doctor haven't even hugged yet. Hopefully in Series 13 we get this, because I can't live without it.
They should get a grip, because this is Doctor Who, for goodness sake.
Yeah, it's not
nothing
Doctor
happens.
I want to smooch, right? There's no hanky-panky in the TARDIS, whether the Doctor is male, female, or whatever. Right? Get over yourselves, right? The Doctor had a family, had a wife, okay? They died, okay? As far as I'm concerned, you introduce another wife or more kid or whatever, you're disrespecting that family. So I've never accepted any other. I don't even accept River Song as the Doctor's wife, to be quite honest with you. The Doctor had a family, right? When he was talking to Donna and the Doctor's daughter, when he was being all cranky about Jenny, and then he says to Donna, you think I never did this before, I never had a family before. And that's when you find out what his family died during the Time War. So no, don't be giving me this. No hanky-panky in the test, so you can fuck off with your hugs and your kisses, right? And if it does happen, R.I.P. Doctor Who. And it's not because people are homophobic or whatever other phobe that you can come out with. It's because it's a family show and you don't do that shit on a family show. If you want a sex education show, go and watch a sex education show. Doctor Who is a fucking sci-fi show. Sci-fi, science fiction. Science fiction.
You can't get that through to their thick skulls. I mean, you could scream all day, but they just see it as which way, how they can pervert it.
That's all they're interested in,
Yeah.
right? So I don't give a crap, right? If this hanky-panky stuff does happen in the TARDIS, do you know what? On some levels, I hope it happens. Because the backlight, you don't even realise. You don't even realise, right? You are in for a treat when this happens, right? You thought that the reaction of fans when Jodie Whittaker's doctor disrespected every cancer patient out there, or every cancer sufferer, or every person's family that has lost a member of cancer. Yeah. You saw the reaction to that. It wasn't pretty, it wasn't. And the BBC came out with a pathetic apology. You think fans are going to sit back and watch this happen? No hanky-panky in the TARDIS, end of. Right? The Doctor shouldn't be in a relationship with anybody. He has friendships now. That's the dynamic that we want. Okay? You start putting romance into it, it changes the Doctor. It's disrespectful to his family too. Many times these have to be told. These people, Christian obviously says he understands the Doctor's character. Right? He's watched the show. He's been a fan. He gave out the Pip and Jane Baker. We all know the infamous video. Right? But you look at his writing. Can you honestly tell me, everybody in the chat, that he is a man that knows what he's doing? He is a man that understands the Doctor, the character, how these characters should behave, who these characters should be with, how they're, you know what I mean? Does he? No. He hasn't got a clue. And that's who they have in charge. And if he remains in charge, it's over. Trust me, it's over. They do this hanky-panky business. Listen, I don't give a fuck. Two women want to kiss, go and do it in a sex education show. Right? Okay? Go and watch it there. Doctor Who is sci-fi. It's a sci-fi show for the family. Okay? Since when has it become acceptable to see all this nonsense in Doctor Who? Right? RTD is responsible, in my opinion, anyway, when he did it with Rose and David Tennant's Doctor. But again, I didn't accept that. Right? So I was glad when he did what he did and he had the other Doctor for Rose. Right? I was able to accept that because it was it was the Doctor, but it was a human Doctor, right? We still had our Doctor, so I accepted that. And even fucking RTD knew this. That's why he did it. Because he knew it wouldn't have been accepted. Because even though he would love to do that in reality, right? He's a Doctor Who fan. He knows what is accepted and what isn't, right? But Chris Chibnall doesn't understand that. He doesn't care what is accepted and what isn't. He's going to do it his way and his way only. And he doesn't care how we feel, right? Now, he does this, right? And he does the timeless child nonsense. And then if he does bring Tom Baker back, right? I'm telling you right now, right? Without even mentioning all the other villains that are coming into it, this is going to be the biggest shit show that we've ever seen. And if you think Series 11 and 12 are bad, well, you ain't seen nothing yet. You ain't seen nothing yet. And this will be the downfall. The downfall. And if they are bringing Tom Baker back, there's only one reason why they're bringing Tom Baker back. Think about it logically, guys, right? He's the definitive Doctor of the classic era, right? If you want to destroy something, what do? You bring back the figurehead. You bring back the person that is loved by most of the fans in the fandom. And who is that? That's Tom Baker.
Yeah.
Right? So you already know what. So this is why I'm deadly serious. People need now. We need to come together, campaign. You know, the bigger YouTubers out there. Listen, I'm not going to start coming out and saying this, that, and the other anymore. I'm sick of it. Right? It's time though you got up off your arses now, right? And actually start campaigning to have this man removed. Because I can't do it on my own. I'm a small channel. We need the bigger channels to latch on to this for it to get anywhere. But we need to make our voices heard once and for all. right? And we need to do it now, right? Now, Series 13 is going to happen, whatever happens, but we need to stay active during that time, now up until then, and keep coming out and criticizing this man. Because I'm telling you now, folks, this ain't getting better. This gets worse. And I'm telling you now, if I see Tom Baker anywhere near this production, any photographs, I am going to absolutely lose it.
Yeah.
I'm going to be devastated because we know what's going to happen. I'm telling you now, listen, folks, we have to start the campaign. We need to. You know, Series 11, we had the fire under us. And for the first year, we were all fighting together, hand in hand. And we got a few little victories along the way, you know. But the last 2 years, it's been nothing but them. Right? And
See,
look at how
no, I don't think that Tom Baker will do this because he's 87 now and he's doing Big Finish, and I think that's all he can do. Because
but it's one scene, say, and he's in the museum still, the art gallery. I mean, he's gonna be just sitting there, so it's not as if, you know, whatever scene they're gonna get him in, he's gonna be action packed. They will be careful, but I don't. You know, my worst fear is that they bring Tom Baker back, but then they use some CGI. And it's it's the young Tom Baker, but they're using the old Tom Baker just as a voiceover. That's my fear. That's my fear. Because then that goes back into the classic era then, and then you know what I mean?
But what if he turns around and points at Jodie and says, "You're not the real Doctor," you know, and the ones after me are all frauds.
Right, so Lee wants to know what's going on in the chat. So basically, this is what it is. Last night, I got a message off someone that had said they'd sent information to Marty. Apparently, there's a post on 4chan, I think it is. And the latest rumor is now, as I said, take it with a pinch of salt. We're just discussing it here, right? So I don't want to hear anything about, it's just clickbait and blah, blah, blah. We're discussing it. That's what we do on the channel.
Yeah,
so
just
the
a
rumor.
picture.
So the rumor is this. Apparently, Tom Baker is coming back for the curator in Series 13. Right? That's all we've been told. Now, as I said, it's on 4chan. So I did say take it with a pinch of salt, of course. I did say that at the start, and you're right, Lee. Take it with a pinch of salt. But that is the latest rumor. Now, we're discussing it if it was true, and we're discussing what we think might happen. That's it. We're not saying it's going to happen. We're just coming up with our own little theories. But that's the situation right now. If I get any more information on it, which I'm going to get information on, because apparently it was sent to Marty. So I'll text Marty now and try to get the rest of the information. I might do a video on it. I'll see what the information is, but I'll be making it very clear it's from 4chan. This doesn't come from any of my sources whatsoever. And this is on 4chan, so it's different than Reddit. So, and I have heard that 4chan has been right in the past. So it's worth looking at. But we'll see. I mean, pinch of salt, huge pinch of salt. But if this was true, we're just discussing how we'd feel if it was, and what we think might happen. And it's not going to be good or pretty. We know that. This is Chris Chibnall after all. There'd only be one reason why he'd be bringing Tom Baker's Doctor back, and we all know deep down what that reason would be for. As John said, Jodie probably lectured the fucking poor man or something. I wouldn't be surprised, man. Or did he use the younger version of him or something, and she's talking to him in the future. She's in the future and he's in the past, and she's talking down to him or something. It'll be something like that, because, you know, her Doctor has to be the one that's in authority, you know, and we have to make sure that we know that every time, right? So that's what Chris Chibnall will do if he does. A big if. he brings Tom Baker
I
back.
could see them making him say that she's like, "Oh, I'm so glad to see my future's in good hands," or something
Yeah.
like that.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Alistair. That's what we're afraid of. Yeah, but that's why they bring him back, Lee, because he is God. They know that he is the definitive doctor, right? So there's only one reason why they're bringing him back, Lee, and you know that, right? It'd be to destroy his doctor. That's what it'd be for. No other reason but that. I'm not having it. Not having it. But as we said, huge pinch of salt. But if it turns out to be true, God help them. God help them. The wrath of this fandom will be so great that they think that the people giving out about Jodie Whittaker being disrespectful, Jodie Whittaker's doctor, being disrespectful to cancer patients was bad. Yeah, they ain't seen nothing yet. Right. Well, listen, I'm going to leave it at that because I'm going to, as I said, I'm going to see what else is in this information, if we can get my hands on it. We'll see what I might do a video later on if I'll get it tonight. Fill you in on what's actually being said. And again, I'll make it clear. That it's to be taken with a huge pinch of salt. Anyway, we'll do the channel shout out. So what we'll do is we'll start with Super Doctor.
I've got a Twitter account under Real Super Doctor, and I've got a YouTube account under Real Super Doctor.
And please do check them out. I just want to shout out Daniel's channel yet again. Don't forget to subscribe to his channel. And also Lee, what's it? Aldred.
Audio visual.
Yeah. Go and check that out. I usually get it right spot on. Sorry, Lee. Aldred Audio Visual. There you go. Go and subscribe to his Problem Being channel as well. I know he was in the chat earlier. If you want to join us for New Who tomorrow, Lee, you can. You probably wanted the night off, or maybe I did send you the email. Maybe I don't know if you didn't get it because Alpha didn't get his first one. So
I've thought of something terrible.
What?
I've thought of something terrible.
Oh, no.
What if Chris Chibnall is having this Tom Baker character come back to be the timeless child?
Right, and with that, I'm going to leave before I flip. Okay,
Yeah.
Alpha, do your channel shout out, will you? Don't start with those theories, man. Go ahead.
I'm going to be a little selfish tonight and plug myself.
Well, of course, you've got a channel now, so you plug yourself now. And you insist that you plug your channel. Go for it.
On Twitter, I'm at Alpha Omega 55, and I've put up a couple new recent videos lately on the YouTube channel. I put one up yesterday. It's just more or less just a couple minutes slideshow with called 7 Doctors, but it has a original composition that I worked on with a friend many years ago, and I think it's a pretty cool sounding version of the theme song with bits of quotes from different doctors in it and stuff. So if you get a chance, please check that out. I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll get the mods to throw the channels in the chat. If you don't mind, I'd really appreciate that. Let me see who else. There was someone else. Oh yeah, I forgot. As I said earlier at the start of the stream, if you haven't checked out Ballstreck's new video, please do go and support it. And if you do like the new format, do me a favor. He's put a poll up. Go and vote in the poll. He asks if people do like this new format. I voted yes. I'm not telling you how to vote, but if you do like his new format, now he has said that he'll still do the other shouty videos. He's not going to stop them, but he's asked people if they like this style and would they like him to continue with this style. So I voted yeah. I suggest you go in. It's on Twitter and vote for that. Also, actually,
vote for your movie poll too.
that's what I was going to say. Yeah,
only you two guys chose the ones for. Yeah.
So here's the movies. Anyway,
I'm just messing.
I know you are. Sure. What you call it? Are you going to be here for the movie next week?
No,
yeah?
I'm still working.
You're still working. Yeah. See, that's why we chose the movies, because I knew you'd be working. So, you know. So yeah, here it is. Actually, I'm gonna repost it. So there's 42 votes so far, which is good. So hold on, I'm just asking everybody to vote. So if you haven't voted, it's in the community section of my YouTube channel. So when you go into my YouTube channel, it has the video section, the playlist section. Scroll across, it'll either say community or public or something like that, or whatever, right? But it's a community section, and you'll see it now. I've reposted the poll. So here is so far. So we go in last place. So in last place right now with 2%, we have Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter is Dead. In third place, we have Flight of the Navigator with 21%. In second place, we have Journey to the Center of the Earth on 31%. And in 45%, which is no actually surprise, even though Flight of the Navigator did have an early lead, but I kind of knew once people knew that Back to the Future was on the poll. That has 45%. So right now, that is in the lead. If you haven't voted for your favorite out of those four, please do. Because that will be the next week's movie. Remember, on Tuesday night, I announced the winner. So if you haven't voted in this poll, and I actually hate this because I'm on my phone, I can't share this poll on Twitter. It's ridiculous. You should be able to bleed and share the poll on Twitter. I can't do it through my bleeding phone. But if you could share it in the link as well there, please. Yeah, in the live chat there, and just vote. Someone said they just voted, so you any difference. So Journey to the Center of the Earth now has 33%, 44% for Back to the Future. So someone voted for Journey to the Center of the Earth, it looks like there. So yeah, keep voting away. Any of those movies, as we said, will be absolutely fantastic. All great movies. So yeah, thanks Alpha for reminding me. I was actually going to say it, but yeah, thanks for reminding me. So that's in the post is under the community link. Vote under this community link, says Lee. Yeah, there. Alpha's put it in the chat. So let's keep the votes going, guys. And vote away. As I said, even if you can't watch, vote for a movie that you think people, I'm encouraging everybody to vote for a movie that they'd like us to, even if they're not going to be here on the night, but might watch later on. Go and do that. Right, so Chancellor Omega is going to say good night.
Yeah. Good night, everybody. Thanks for being here.
Super Doctor.
Good night, everybody.
And I want to thank everybody in the chat as well for being here. I know the good weather is starting to come in now and stuff, and everybody's sleep patterns a little bit all over the place, especially mine. My stomach wasn't the greatest when I got up either, but I wasn't actually going to stream. But then I said, look, if I stream, it'll keep me. I'll be concentrating on the stream rather than concentrating on how bad my stomach is. But it seems to have done the trick now because I feel a lot better than I did when we first started. So I wasn't going to not do the stream because, I wanted to do the movie to see how I'd react to it. Still not a huge fan. I never will be. Look, I never will be. But you know, if as I said earlier, it's better than that we've gotten in the current era, and that says a lot. I never thought that I'd actually look at the Doctor Who movie and say that is more Doctor Who than what we've gotten in today's era. Because let's be honest, everybody used to say the exact same thing about the movie. This isn't Doctor Who. This isn't what Doctor Who is supposed to be. But now this even comes across as more doctory than the era. And that is scary. That is scary. That's how bad this show has begun. Oh my God. Right. Good night. I don't know where you are all going after this, but whatever you are doing for the rest of the night, enjoy. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm off now. I actually, as I said, the stomach is a lot better. That I actually put a roast chicken in the oven while we were watching the movie. Yeah, I can't believe I actually put a roast chicken on. Now, when I mean I put a roast chicken on, I put a whole chicken on, and I'm going to eat the whole chicken. That's my dinner. Like that's what I'm having. I'm addicted to chicken. So I'll have that whole roast chicken. That's my dinner. So yeah, I'll give Ted some, of course. You know, I told him it was me and his chimkin. Apparently, for dogs, you say chimkin. So
what about Cheryl?
What do you mean? What about Cheryl?
Doesn't she get any?
No, she doesn't get fed. No. No. Cheryl is actually off poultry and meat now for a while. She does this vegetarian thing and other stuff now. Oh. I'll be doing it myself during the summer because once she does it, then I just kind of I'm kind of having one last slap up, if you know what I mean.
Good luck with that, man.
And then, I did it last year, a couple of years ago. I'm telling you, not word of a lie. We woke up in the morning and we have one of those what's the freaking bullet, the NutriBullet. So we have a NutriBullet. So we'd wake up in the morning or the afternoon and we'd have a NutriBullet, right? And then when we wanted something to eat, then we had salads. Like we literally had salads for. I'm not telling you a word of a lie. I went the whole summer. We both of us looked great. You know, we had a lot of energy, and then just one day we were sitting here and we'd had our dinner, and it was like Cheryl was like, I'm still hungry, and I was like, do you know what? So am I. I'm bleeding starving. So it was like there was a menu in the fucking press, and like she goes, I'm ordering a burger or something, and I says, right, I'll have a burger, and that was it. Then, fucking, that was that round. Then we just start going back to eating normal food.
Hey, I've heard you can live off of Guinness. That's vegan. Maybe you could try that. I don't know.
Yeah. But it's the alcohol part of it that's bad, you know, the poisoning part, you know, if you drink too much. So yeah, no, I'll be good. So I'm having chicken, me and Ted, and Cheryl's in bed anyway. So you know, she's her sleep patterns all over the place as well.
It's because of the heat.
It is.
You know,
that's exactly what it is. It's the heat and the fact
I was like dry last night. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
It's ridiculous, man. The weather is. Yeah. Right. I'm going to go. So I'll say goodnight to you all. Leah said goodnight to us all as well.
So for the new Who watch along the Lodger, when's that? Is it Monday?
No, it's tomorrow. Tomorrow's Sunday.
All right, tomorrow's Sunday. Right, okay then. Right, I'll be there for it.
Yeah, grand. Yeah, the only reason why we did it a day last week, because remember, as I said, it was my birthday last week, and I wanted to watch, you know, Vincent and the Doctor for my birthday, which turned out great actually. Everybody enjoyed it. So yeah, we got the Lodger. I like this story. I know there's some that don't like it, but I do like it. And then, of course, the next two parts come up, and that's when it all starts to get interesting.
I like the Lodger, but I don't like closing time. I think the humour in closing time is a lot lesser than the Lodger. I think the Lodger was just perfect.
I
I
agree.
think they should have left that.
James, but here was the thing about James Corden. James Corden was only a one appearance character. They shouldn't have brought him back for the second appearance, to be quite honest with you. But that's what they do. That's what.
And then Matt Smith and that child and calling it Stormageddon. I mean, that was a bit naff in a way.
Yes. Well, it was a bit funny at the time. Come on, we all were
It
laughing
was a wee bit funny.
and having a joke about that. But yeah, I want to say good night to you all. Let me see. They put pork gelatin in some beers and ales, so check first. I don't care. I don't care. Listen, I'm not going full vegan. I'm just doing it so I can get back into shape a little bit and stay a little bit healthier. I'm going to have more of a balanced diet because I've just been eating rubbish for the last year. That's the only reason. So, but look, I'm not going to stop eating meat. I'll just eat it more in moderation than what I've been eating now. But I will look. I eat a lot of vegetables. Cheryl will tell you anyway. Out of the two of us, I eat a lot more vegetables than she does. You know, and she's she was supposed to be the vegetarian or vegan or whatever. You know, but I eat more veggies, and I still do.
I like juicing vegetables. I like juicing celery.
Look at it, right. She got me yesterday because a juice place is opened. She brought me back this beetroot and apple concoction that was. Now, I love beetroot, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't tell her I love beetroot. She thought I'll get all the beetroots. I'll get my beetroot juice.
I like vegetables and lots of butter and salt and pepper.
See, celery juice. I mean, see if you juice a whole stalk of celery and you get the juice, you drink that juice, your stomach shrinks. I mean, it is amazing.
Yeah, I love broccoli, spinach. I love it all. Sprouts, string beans as they call them.
Cauliflower,
peas, cauliflower. You name it, turnip. Any vegetable. I'll eat any vegetable.
Rutabaga.
Any vegetable. You just hand me out and I'll eat it. Like it's like I love vegetables. I've always have and always will. Because in my house it was very important. The man that made sure that we always had our vegetables, even before people were talking about you having vegetables on your plate to have a balanced diet. We always had vegetables on our plate. It was the only thing the family could really afford anyway. It was the cheapest thing. Vegetables were always cheap, you know. So yeah, I'd encourage people to eat more vegetables.
Potatoes.
But you know, you still have your chicken, you still have your pork. Just do it in moderation. I've just been going crazy this lockdown. But yeah, I'll be back to me salads again and me juices. I'll have a lot more energy, and I'll probably be a bit more hyper as well. Because when I get a bit more energy, I get a bit more hyper, and then you will probably see me. You will probably see me more
hyper.
More online, which won't go down well. Right, gonna leave it at that. Gonna say goodnight to all my guests and everybody in the chat. I'll leave you with the channel trailer now. We'll see you tomorrow for the lodger, and don't forget to vote in the poll and subscribe to all the channels mentioned as well. And a special thank you to all our moderators for doing and keeping the community safe as usual. A special shout out though as well, because I see them in the chat. A special shout out to Unknown. As you know, I put video up and Cheryl put the video up on Teddy Terrier Tales of the latest video that Unknown had done for us. It's gotten over 300 views on Teddy Terrier Tales channel. So another video that has actually blown it out of the water. I have to say though, our hashtag game, our tags game is brilliant. I think that's why they're being picked up because she knows how to use the hashtags. I didn't realize that the hashtags really are that important because she's proved it to me now twice with 2 videos. So I've said to her, maybe when I do my next Doctor Who video, maybe I'll get you to put in all the hashtags and we'll see how it works, see if the video performs better because her videos seem to be doing well. But if you haven't seen the video that Unknown did, it's go and check it out on Cheryl's channel. Leave a comment. Teddy's channel. Why am I saying Cheryl's channel? It's Teddy's channel. Sorry, Teddy Terrier Tales. Go and check it out. Also on Instagram. So if you haven't, over 60 followers now on Instagram. Ted has, and it grows each day. Believe it or not. So if you haven't followed, if you're on Instagram and you want to see some doggy videos of Ted and photographs and other doggy stuff, go over to Instagram and check out the YouTube channel as well. That's Teddy Terrier Tales.
Triple T.
So yeah, I thought I'd give that a shout out because I promised Cheryl I would every time now because so the hashtags seem to work. So I'll get her to do the hashtags for the next video that I do when they do something ridiculous in this fandom or they do something ridiculous with the show that we find out about. Then I'll get her to do all the hashtags and we'll see how it goes. Right, I'm going to say goodnight to you all. We're 2 hours and 42 minutes in. I want to thank again all my guests, everybody that joined us in the chat as well. And we will see you tomorrow for the Lodger. Night. Stay safe.
Night.
And look out for yourselves.